Welcome everyone to the Universal Plywoods YouTube channel. We are here in sunny South Africa in the KZN coast in an estate called Fairview Estate. I was lucky enough to build my own home and got Miles on board with regards to all our cabinetry. Miles, thanks for joining me and
yeah, sure.
Look forward to hearing what you have to say about why we went the route we did.
To give everybody a little bit of a background, I've been involved in the woodworking game for a little bit more than 20 years now, and the solid wood game was our starting platform. Downsides to solid timber is that it tends to expand and contract based on weather, temperature, climate, where you are, how you process it, how you glue it together. There's a huge technical aspect that goes all around a solid material. But now when we come to a very simple sheeted product like birch ply, it's very stable, it's very flat, it's very easy to work with. It's like a hardwood, but not very difficult to cut and process.
An
engineered process of how it's laminated.
So you know that from day one you're going to get the same product that you're going to get in 100 days time. You know the same product is going to be.
Whereas if you happen to make a dining room table and you do it in early winter and you happen to not seal it properly, or you ship it from Durban to Joburg, you can have an expansion issue where the table can actually change shape and size. Joints can crack. From birch ply, we now don't get that aspect. So when it comes to the cabinetry side, because it is so water resistant to the point where it's almost waterproof. We did a test 7 years ago when we started playing with the birch ply products, and I cut a simple square, drilled a hole in it, tied it to a brick, threw it in my pool, and I left it there for 2 weeks. When we took it out, we put a vernier onto it and measured it, and it was exactly the same thickness as what it was 2 weeks prior to sitting soaking into the pool, which showed you that it doesn't absorb the water to then start swelling as what you do see with other materials that people use in the typical cabinetry kind of game or the cheaper furniture market. If anybody is looking to have any kind of kitchen design or style manufactured that is going to last a lifetime and they're not planning on replacing their kitchen every 5 years, then a birch ply carcass is by far the better choice.
I agree with you.
We do have the option of the marine ply, which I'm hoping our editor can squeeze in the marine ply pictures to show him the difference between the marine ply being a more mahogany type color and the birch ply being a very light kind of yellowed, almost ash and oak kind of coloring. With that, we've done a kitchen that was a marine ply carcass, so it now had a mahogany kind of look with key-out doors because the client was very interested in the brown look. We then have had other clients that want the birch ply look that then wanted the ash doors. So the birch ply and the ash match nicely. The marine ply and key-outs and the brown timbers then match very nicely. We went down for this particular set of cabinetry that you can see in the background here. It is 100% birch ply. The birch ply we chose is the 15mm grade from WISA. The reason why we chose the birch, we will hopefully be able to show you some colors and contrasts in it. The doors are painted, but it's still solid birch. We have just done a shaker style to the doors.
Before we get started with the discussion, let's quickly do a house tour and we can show you where we used birch, Miles's work, and we can go from there and we can get straight into what we've got to say about birch. Miles, this was obviously the one sort of add-in that was quite tricky for you guys to, obviously the butler sink that came into the birch.
Jason's wife was very insistent on wanting a particular style and design with the sink and fit.
No. Miles came up with a nice drawer idea, so we've got the two smaller ones on top.
So to just show people the way we do our drawers, they are a complete box unit so that you don't see any of the hardware from.
And you did this edging,
birch. We edge in the ash. Ash matches birch very, very well in its natural form. And then you can see the painted drawer aspect as well.
So then we had the deeper ones here for obviously bigger pots and pans, and then right at the bottom here.
So these drawer units actually carry 40 kilos per drawer. My all-time favorite dustbins from Grass. They are absolute pleasure. The main thing is actually the fact that we didn't want the doors to open towards you, but we needed this unit and that unit to look identical, so we created the illusion of being two doors when in actual fact they are a fold-away door system, which then gives you still free access into the pantry. And because of access and height for a lot of people, not many people are going to reach up there to get their regular groceries, and drawers are the best way in any kitchen design to make anything easily accessible, as opposed to trying to get to the back of a cupboard and dig out what you need from there. So drawers are very beneficial from that perspective. Unfortunately, the drawers then add a much higher cost factor to your kitchen. But they are definitely the best way to lay out any kind of storage system inside your kitchen. So key positioned drawers like these that we have put at a chest to waist height to make it very comfortable for you to reach inside and gain access to what you would now reach from stove to grocery cabinet easily and accessibly without having to bend down into your under counter drawers instead. In case anybody noticed this gap that is sitting between the two cupboards, there is actually a special little attachment that's going to be coming in here soon. It is just in prototype stage, and we're going to then have it released probably next week.
It's for guys like me that are very short. There's a ladder going in there that I can pull out and reach up, where Miles has designed something that only 7'4" people can get to.
So unfortunately, when you are 6'4", reaching up at 2.5 meters is a lot easier than others. So what this will be, and we'll have some videos for it as soon as it comes out, is this is going to pull up, and it is a left or right folding step ladder. So for those who now need to get that once in a while product at the back of your cabinet, you will pull this out, the stair ladder will bend out to the side, you can climb up and then easily access the top of the counter. A second benefit that happens with kids is that when you fold it out to the other side of the countertop, they can now work here and bake and cook with mom or dad, but not be that close to the oven itself that they can burn or hurt themselves, but they can still feel like they're close enough to the kitchen area to be involved with the cooking or baking.
One of the nice things that working with you was not having much idea of how we wanted to go about this project with using birch, because it was sort of an undiscovered product to use from my point of view. Obviously selling the timber, I absolutely love birch, and it's one of my favorite products to sell because of its characteristics and all the pros that you get from using it. Was your inclusion of the CNC makeup, which made a massive difference in how we sort of structured wastage, and you were able to sort of nest things a lot easier. And so when you came to us with the original design, you had already done it all on CNC, which was a huge help with giving us an idea of what we were in for.
Yes, definitely. So one of the advantages we have in the industry is we have a large CNC, another one on the way hopefully soon, where what we do with the CNC is we create all the components. So parts that are very difficult to show clients on how we've done your cabinetry is that we have a lot of mortise and tenon, we have a lot of slot joints, that it makes the manufacturing much simpler. So it also means that we don't even have to have my particular team assembling the cabinets. The cabinets themselves could be made into a flat pack system, delivered to different clients, and then assembled on site there. The reason why we do the mortise, tenon, slot joints, rebates is the attachment for the glue, so we can get that much more surface area out of the glue. Birch ply in itself is incredibly stable and strong and durable in itself, but then when we add the traditional joinery cut onto a CNC, we get the new form of manufacturing, which allows us to do it much quicker, much more cost effective, so we can keep the overall general cost of production down because it's made so much faster. It takes a lot of the human element of error out of it, because now, yes, the guys don't have to, oops, I put the wrong piece in, the slots are all there, the guys can literally just assemble it. So one of the downsides to the traditional way the kitchens are made, and not the very traditional way, recent kitchens over maybe the last 10, 15 years, they designed to kind of last about a 5-year period, whereas the kitchens that we manufacture in the solid materials and the birch ply carcasses, as well as marine ply carcasses, depending on the color style that the clients want, you're going to get a lifetime out of it. It's going to be a 25-year life kitchen. Because of today's style and changes with the modernization of aspects, today you want it white and blue, tomorrow you might want it black and blue, and that ability to change. Unfortunately, the traditional technique where guys spray the paint work on, the companies who do the spray work, you can't patch that, you can't repair that, you need a new spray job. So where we often recommend to clients that do come to us for the kitchens is, if they're trying to stick within a budget, we say to them, spend all your bulk of your budget onto a carcass, so that your carcass is there for a lifetime, and then save your money on your doors to start. If you're able to fit everything into your budget, then fantastic, we go all out on the doors and the carcasses and the birch ply. But the painting technique that we use is actually the fancy roller brushes, and we hand roll every single one of the paint doors themselves. They are solid birch ply, they are primed, and then they are painted. The benefit to that is if your kid comes along with a car, a little race car, and decides to ride it down the side of your brand new painted, freshly painted cabinet and it scratches, it's very easy to fix and touch up, even from the owner's perspective, where you might not have the same skills, but for you to just give it a light sand and a quick coat of paint is very simple. The other option is to change the paint entirely, where you could call guys like us in to do a complete overhaul of the colors. But because the carcass themselves are natural color and the doors and frames are what's painted, we can very easily change. Or you could just paint straight over it with a different color altogether if you wanted to.
I guess there are some disadvantages to birch, and yeah, as a supplier, I know these things because we have it daily, is stock availability, shipping, and forex. So as a manufacturer, I guess these are things that obviously frustrate you as well. Quality control with regards to birch. We obviously South Africa is open to all the markets with regards to importing on birch, say so. But we are finding that there are products that are arriving as birch, but are coming in manufactured with a core of, say, eucalyptus and having birch veneers, which is that will obviously cause massive issues with the quality control when you, as the manufacturer, are cutting it, like you've experienced.
Yes, we have experienced this with people. So birch is not all birch is created equal. There are certain suppliers and manufacturers that use very specific European graded glues that are waterproof. They use very specific harvested birch, and the process in which the birch actually goes through its veneering stages until it's actually manufactured and cross-laminated. Sure. There are many companies out there and many companies that are just trying to find a place in the market that will sell you what they call a birch product. It will be a birch outer veneer with anything on the inside, even as soft as poplar. I love poplar as a timber, but poplar as a core to a birch product is now not the same kind of finishes you're going to get. So it's also very important, and mostly strength more than anything else. Yeah. One of the key ways we've always found out how strong or weak a plywood product is, and this would go for any plywood, is actually just to take a screw without a pilot hole and drive it through with a very powerful driver. What we found from your birch, which comes from WISA, is that the glue laminations are incredibly strong, and you can drive a screw without a pilot hole and the laminations stay very tight, they don't move. The moment we see a cheaper version or a poplar type core or any type of mixed core, the laminations immediately start to actually pull apart as you drive a screw through them.
So just going back to that now, is just telling people out there that although we are promoting birch and the fact that we find it an incredibly good product, you've got to be careful from where you source your birch. Please, because I don't want to obviously put this out there that birch is an incredible product, but people come back to it and say, well, I bought birch and it did this and
it didn't work.
But there are products out there that you need to be careful of. Just do your due diligence when buying, and speak to professionals like Miles, ourselves, suppliers, and you shouldn't go wrong.
A key point that we like to do with the cupboards when we're designing the cupboards, and we were meeting with your missus while we were discussing what we needed to include in the cupboards and that, and it's always important to have enough drawer space for kids, keeping in mind your daughters now are this big,
so
but when they are going to be much older, you need to also keep in mind of what else you need to add to a cupboard for the growth of the children as well. So in this case, we kept it nice and simple, and we kept with a few drawers that are nice and easily accessible. They're all soft close, which is fantastic. We end up with double hanging space. So we create two hanging areas on one side of the cupboards. And right now their clothing is this tall, but as their clothing gets longer, and we also keep that in mind, especially for the ladies who like to wear a summer dress style or a longer gown kind of dress, we like to add a longer hanging unit as well. And then at the bottom there, we added the shoe rack to help with storage, so that they can just fit that many more shoes.
One thing that is common in the industry is that everyone's perception behind using birch plywood is that it's this overpriced product that's not going to give you what it needs to be. I think that sort of market where people are wanting to redo their kitchens or their cabinets in bedrooms and stuff is where birch has got this persona that it's a really expensive timber. But I promise you, I just cannot tell people enough to just get a quote done and do apples with apples, and you'll know that using birch to other sort of materials, there's not much difference. And the longevity that you're going to get out of your cabinetry is going to be 10 to 9. You're going to have your cabinetry around for a lot longer in the sense of water, all those sort of issues, dampness. Miles was very influential in designing our walk-in closet with birch, so we went entirely birch as well. Obviously strength-wise to higher cupboards, being able to pack as much as we can up into sort of storage units at the top, which we will eventually have doors on. And then yeah, Miles came up, this is actually quite a nifty little thing that everyone seems to like. Miles added this into the design, which is birch carcass, and then included in this is where we included you can see which is men and which is ladies, as you can tell. 3 pairs, 550 pairs.
I find all my clients always tell me, we don't have that many shoes until you install a rack like this, and they say, I don't need a rack like that, there's too many shoes, and then they fill it.
Yeah. So we went with the natural birch tops, which gave it that natural look, which we were very happy with. Miles, what did you end up using to coat the birch?
So we are avid Woodok users. We use Woodok. This is actually one of their flooring products. The reason why we choose the flooring product is just the durability of the product itself. And the easiness of it to use for the client, the touch and feel of what you get out of it, nice. From the client's perspective.
Durability behind it.
And then durability is it's strong enough to use on flooring. We use it on the timber floors that we install. It's a product that we just then continue to use on countertops, as well as the internals of the cupboards as well. Is the same product that we use there.
And then we obviously took it through into our bathrooms, and all our vanities are made out of birch as well. Again, we've kept the natural look throughout all the cupboards, and then kept the color paint, whatever we were going for on the outside, which has sort of flowed through the house. So yeah, it's been an awesome process, and very, very happy with the outcome that we've had with using birch and the way and the CNC idea of what Miles has done. It's come out unbelievably, and very, very happy. So as being the guinea pig in this whole process, please, if you've got any questions, please give us a shout. Miles, you can also give a shout below here. We're happy to answer any questions. I've been through the process from start to finish. I can definitely give a lot of advice as a supplier, as a client, as someone that's worked with an installer like and a manufacturer like Miles. A lot of pros to this whole thing, so please give us a shout. More than happy to answer any questions. The last bit of the whole birch puzzle was the office. We decided to stay with the natural look because I always wanted the natural look going through. So Miles,
you got one room out of the whole house.
Yeah, and because the length of the office, Miles had to do this extra little detail here, which is amazing. It's the veneers of birch that you can see that did the join of the 2 tables. So yeah, thanks Miles. This is where hopefully the money is going to be made.
Gets made.
No, very happy with the outcome that we got here. It looks incredible. Thank you, Miles. Appreciate it. Thank you.